For a village of its size, Yellow Springs is host to a fairly impressive number of nonprofit organizations. The arts, senior services, affordable housing, ecology, and education are all supported by local nonprofits, and the Yellow Springs Community Foundation, in turn, helps provide support in all of these areas by facilitating Antioch College's Miller Fellowship Program. Brothers Nolan and Richard Miller were longtime Yellow Springs residents. Nolan began teaching literature at Antioch College in 1946, and Richard, an artist, came to the village in 1954. After Nolan and Richard died in 2006 and 2009, they left a large bequest to the Yellow Springs Community Foundation with the instruction that the endowment benefit Antioch College students working in local public service. In 2011, when Antioch College reopened, the Community Foundation established the Miller Fellowship, which funds internships for Antioch students who undertake their required co-ops at local nonprofits. Virgil Hervey of the Community Foundation, who serves as administrator for the Miller Fellow program, says it's a perfect fit for both the college and the community.
To me, it was brilliant. If you talk to most of the organizations who have had a Miller Fellow for the past 3 years that the program's been in existence, they will tell you that they don't know how they got along without the Miller Fellow in the first place.
Beth Bridgeman is the instructor of cooperative education at Antioch College, and she manages the Miller Fellow program there. She agrees that the Miller Fellows are a precious resource for local nonprofits, and that they couldn't have come along at a better time.
I think in the last few years, all of us in the nonprofit world have seen, with the economy crashed, and grant funding has dried up. I think that all nonprofits are sort of squeezed, and this is just such a wonderful opportunity to have a little bit of extra help, and of course with the benefit to our students as well.
Antioch College student Keaton Byerly, who served as a Miller Fellow for affordable housing organization Home Inc., says that the experience was personally transformative.
I think working at Home Inc. has been a chance for me to step outside of an environment that I was used to and learn from new people of different philosophies, and just the people that I've interacted with. The things that I've done with Home Inc. have changed my perspective and myself.
Virgil and Beth say that the Miller Fellow program has also helped integrate Antioch College students into village life and has provided Yellow Springs with a certain vitality it missed when the college closed in 2008.
The very first year of the program, we sent a young woman to work at the senior center, and she happened to be from Mexico, and on her own decided to start giving the seniors at the senior center Spanish lessons. The benefit to the community as well as to her was the chance to interact, and those kinds of stories go pretty much across the board.
We were all here when there was no college. I love seeing all the new faces in town, and to see how our college students are really becoming an integral part of the fabric of our village again.
In 2010, Yellow Springs schools began to rethink their approach to education in the village and set in motion the Class of 2020 Strategic Plan, which aims to produce a student body that's engaged and ready to navigate the world through project-based learning, or PBL. Superintendent of Schools Mario BASORA says he thinks this desire is in line with the ideals of the village as a whole.
We have a community that really values student-driven learning, student empowerment, learning by doing and through experience. Given those values, we felt like project-based learning was the best approach to really achieve all of those things. And so in order to do that, it takes a significant amount of initial capital.
That capital was provided when $150,000 in seed money was donated to establish the Yellow Springs Exempted Village Schools Capital and Endowment Fund, or YSCAPE, at the Community Foundation. YSCAPE allowed Yellow Springs schools to proceed with the strategic plan by helping to fund professional development for school staff in the PBL method. Mario explains how PBL works.
In the past, we've had problems in our schools or problems in our community. You tend to think of them as, well, how do I solve that problem? And so we went about it and solved our problems. Now when we see problems, we think, how can we get the kids to solve this for us? And so the idea of passing these problems on to our kids to sort of solve real-world complex problems and then find a way to really connect those to the curriculum, that's where the magic is.
The schools got a chance to see the magic at work last year when Mario and Yellow Springs High School principal Tim Cryer enlisted the aid of students to tackle the problem of the school's outdated bathrooms. Students got on board immediately, starting a successful campaign on the fundraising website Kickstarter, designing the look of their new bathrooms, and carrying out a lot of the work themselves to make the new bathrooms their own.
The kids are going to own the bathrooms. They're their bathrooms. They voted on the way they look. They voted on the designs. They put a lot of sweat equity into them over the summer. And so that sense of ownership they have, I think, will lead to the bathrooms being taken care of in a better way. I mean, they say that your bathroom says a lot about you, I suppose. And so we think when people come to see us and walk into our bathrooms, we want them to say, wow, this is a different kind of school. It's a different kind of community.
At Mills Lawn Elementary School, second grade teacher Heidi Hoover's class also got on board with PBL, going head-to-head with the emerald ash borer. The ash borer is a beetle native to Asia, and over the last few years, it's killed ash trees across the village, including trees on the grounds of Mills Lawn. Some trees were cut down last year, and Heidi says her students quickly reacted to the change.
My students had noticed that there were ash trees being cut down in the front of the school. So from there, we started talking about emerald ash borer. They had lots of questions. Well, how many trees are going to be cut down on the school property? How many trees are infested? I had talked to Mr. BASORA. He came in and spoke to my student and said, I need your help to figure out what trees are infested on the school property. One student said, well, how are we going to know which ones are ash trees? And another student said, well, we need to learn tree identification. And then another student said, but we need to make a map to know where the trees are on the school property so they know which ones are infested, so they know which ones need to be cut down. So within the first 5 minutes, they had created the entire project. So the kids were motivated, intrinsically motivated, and they became experts because they were interested.
Over the last 40 years, the Yellow Springs Community Foundation has had a long reach in the community. A unique organization and a unique village, it has pursued the goal of providing support to enrich the lives of the citizens of Yellow Springs. This work continues into the future, helping to make sure that village youth can learn and grow, becoming the kinds of community leaders that Yellow Springs and the Community Foundation were built by.